welcome to Season 2, Episode 37 of One Man's Opinion. Today I am reviewing the national tour of Aladdin, with music by Alan Menken, lyrics by Howard Ashman, Tim Rice, and Chad Beguelin, and book by Chad Beguelin. I hope I pronounced your name right. Directed by Casey Nicholaw, currently traveling along the eastern half of the United States. Aladdin is one of the Disney films from their peak late 20th century era, the third after The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. It wasn't until 19 years later that the movie was adapted into a stage musical, opening in Seattle before transferring to Broadway in 2014. By this point, Disney had opened a number of Broadway musicals to varying degrees of success. Their first two, Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King, were huge successes. Aida, Mary Poppins, and Newsies were moderately successful, and Tarzan and The Little Mermaid were basically flops. So after the first two hits, Disney hadn't had a bona fide mega hit of a Broadway musical. In that regard, I suspect that Disney has drawn back funding to its Broadway budget, and in the case of Aladdin, it shows. Now, I recognize that Aladdin has been playing on Broadway now for 8 years, which would make it a huge success, but in the actual quality of the musical, Aladdin does not measure up, at least in the production quality, compared to Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King. With that in mind, let's talk about the significant changes made to the stage version of Aladdin. The first obvious thing is the omission of Abu, Aladdin's monkey friend from the film, as well as Jasmine's tiger Raja, and changing Jafar's sidekick bird Iago to a human character. Instead of Abu and Raja, Aladdin and Jasmine each have a trio of friends that substitute their cinematic animal compatriots. Now, nothing against the love and companionship an animal can give, but there's a difference between a person feeling alone with only an animal as their companion, whether it be in the marketplace or the palace of Agrabah, and having a trio of friends. Then there's the omission of one of the major set pieces in the film, which is Aladdin's attempted escape from the Cave of Wonders. I can guess there are two reasons for this. One, it's expensive to create that scene on stage, and two, they want to leave the reveal of the flying carpets for the song A Whole New World in the second act, which is admittedly a gorgeously artful scene. Either way, it's an action set piece that is sorely missing. Then there's the finale, which in the film has the sorcerer Jafar turn into a large snake, which also is completely cut out as well. The finale of the stage version is much less dramatic. Now, I'm old enough to remember, living in Southern California, the Conan the Barbarian stunt show at Universal Studios, which had a finale involving Conan fighting a giant snake. So I know it can be done, and has been done for decades. So why not do it now? In conclusion, all of these comparisons, I suspect that with the diminishing returns of Disney musicals, that less money was being invested into each show, thus investments into effects like the Beast's transformation in Beauty and the Beast, which was awesome to see, and the awe-inspiring puppetry of The Lion King are lost for Aladdin. I mean, why not have puppets for Abu, Raja, and Iago? I mean, we have a scene-stealing puppet of Milky White in Into the Woods right now. Why not use projections and lighting for the carpet scene in the Cave of Wonders? Projections are being used all the time in theater now. And why not have an actual awesome-looking giant snake in the finale? Instead, we are left with an overall visually underwhelming Aladdin for anyone who is familiar with the tale of a street rat Diamond in the Rough Aladdin, currently played by Adi Roy, who longs for a better life and falls in love with Princess Jasmine, played by Senzel Ahmadi, when the sorcerer Jafar, played by Anand Nagraj, discovers Aladdin is the secret to accessing the Cave of Wonders to attain the magic lamp that contains a genie, played by Marcus M. Martin. Aladdin is given the opportunity to change his life by making 3 wishes. As disappointing as the dramatic changes of Aladdin are, the good thing is the cast of Aladdin gives the show a much-needed shot in the arm to make the show entertaining throughout. Adi Roy's hopeful and optimistic Aladdin is the linchpin that keeps the show going. Martin's genie is a scene-stealing joy to watch, and Aaron Choi's Iago is the perfect balance of comedy against Nagaraj's malevolent Jafar. Nicholaw's direction gives the show a bit of a kitschy kind of humor that is a bit more tongue-in-cheek than necessary, making the show feel a bit more vaudevillian at times than what contemporary theater is, which feels like an over-adjustment in order to compensate by upping the stylized humor for the lack of spectacle. With all this in consideration, the adaptation of Aladdin, though the cast valiantly attempts to give an energetic performance, loses its magic that made the film such a classic. But I am only one man's opinion, so be sure to leave yours in the comments below. If you're interested in seeing the tour of Aladdin, I'll leave a link in the description. You can support my channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Click the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be Mike Birbiglia's new one-man show, which is playing over at Lincoln Center, The Old Man and the Pool. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the theater.